Great. Okay, well, thanks everybody for jumping on today, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Mark Belash. I'm a co-founder of Gahuza.com, a platform that helps connect recruiters with job seekers live in minutes. I'll be your moderator today. Just a little very short housekeeping. We will be recording this, and a recording will be going out after the session to everybody who registered. You can put your questions in the Q&A area of the Zoom platform, and we'll be going over the questions at the end of Sarah's presentation. I'd like to now introduce you to Sarah Freiberger. Sarah is Director of Membership at NPA Worldwide, and she's now going to give you the presentation of Accelerating Business Growth with a Split Network. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Mark. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. Looking forward to sharing more about NPA Worldwide Recruitment Network and how, as a firm owner yourself, you can unlock growth by tapping into a network similar to ours. There are a couple out there, but NPA Worldwide is the one that I work for. I'm the Director of Membership there. I'm responsible for the design and execution of growth strategy plans on a global basis for our network. We have 600 recruitment firms within NPA Worldwide. If you're not familiar with NPA Worldwide Recruitment Network, a brief history. We are a member-owned and run cooperative. So really being recruiter-owned sets the scene for everything that we have done since 1956. But our primary mission is to help member firms increase their revenue by facilitating split placements. We really began back in 1956 as a way for the independent recruitment firm to have another option besides joining a branded agreement or a franchise. Those were really popular at that time, but what firm owners were finding is that they were losing all of what made them unique. So as entrepreneurs, they didn't want to feel pigeonholed on a branded agreement or a franchise and giving up a large portion of their revenue. So NPA Worldwide was created by some of those firm owners to be another option. So they could brand themselves as part of something larger to increase their geography or their practice areas, as well as have camaraderie. The independent recruitment firm desk can get a little bit lonely sometimes, especially if you are a sole proprietor. Being part of NPA Worldwide allows you to connect with other firm owners who are running a very similar business to yourself, and not only be able to have more opportunities as it relates to the candidates you encounter, more opportunities for the types of roles that you can take on from clients, but also be able to engage in best practice sessions with other recruitment firms, meet at live and in-person events, as well as Zoom virtual events nowadays, and really just be able to kind of go through the desk of being an independent recruiter with camaraderie, synergy, and making sure that you're on top of all the industry trends and things that are out there for the independent recruiter. Some of the reasons recruiters join, of course, is to make more placements in more places. You can accelerate the speed of placements when you are partnering on splits with another recruitment firm because they are able to provide you candidates faster to your client. By obviously you're not having to do the work. You can work outside your core specialty. You can easily take on roles in cybersecurity, for instance, because you have a partner that specializes in cybersecurity now. So if you have that opportunity come to you, you're able to tell your new client, absolutely, you can take on that cybersecurity role and partner. You can expand your geographic reach. Many firms are extremely surprised when they join NPA Worldwide or another network similar to ours, that if you join a global network, that you might find yourself all of a sudden having opportunities come to you from clients with international operations that previously you might have just passed over. And now you can actually engage with those opportunities and again, increase ROI. Network of peers, build relationships, upgrade your skills, and share industry knowledge. Especially in today's day and age, there is always a new automation tool. There is always a new company out there that's bringing a product to the market for a recruitment firm or recruiter to do things more effectively, minimize wasted time, and having a network that's sharing those things and sharing group discounts for those is really important, so that you can navigate your budget on an annual basis with what's going to work best for your business. Benchmarking, you can measure your performance against similar recruitment organizations, problem solve, and more. So really, we put out member surveys, letting our members know that other firms that are similar to theirs, what are they bringing in revenue? What are they seeing in terms of candidate fall-offs? What are they seeing in terms of client movement? Is there a slowdown on jobs? In what industries? Always great to know, especially with the past couple of years. The climate has definitely been up and down for our recruitment firms, and having each other to lean on or pivot to different things has been extremely helpful. For example, when the pandemic hit and different operations slowed down, we had some of our firms that were specialized in healthcare that was booming at that point. Have training sessions, run training sessions for the partners that were in industries where they were impacted, so that they could then start working that industry as well and take on roles that their partners were getting over inundated with, so that they could still be bringing revenue into their business even though their industry was hit. So really the bottom line is you want to add revenue with a network that you join. The average member sees a 750% return on their investment. Most firms attribute about 30% of their bottom line when they're to NPA Worldwide when they are a member of our network. Even by doing just a couple more additional deals per year than they otherwise would have, it really makes a dent on your bottom line and what you're bringing in and being able to produce. This is a value statement, so you're not just listening to my words on it. This is from Jim Lyons. He is a member of NPA Worldwide. When he first joined the network, he was not sure what to expect. He had owned his business for 20 years without ever being part of NPA Worldwide. And so he really wanted to track over the course of the first couple of years what this network was doing for his business as he was engaging. So after 3 years, he had all of this tracked. So the split core business profit that he made just from the splits, so the actual money that he's doing, getting paid out from clients and partners, was $160K. The international split profit, because he ended up taking on work internationally from his current clients that then he had partners in those local areas be able to fill for him, was $25K. So 2 placements there that he otherwise wouldn't have expected ever doing internationally. Technology split profit. Part of NPA Worldwide is that we also can cross-post your positions on our self-hosted and run job board. This delivers you candidates for you to screen and move forward with your client. So you don't have to manage multiple job board subscriptions when you're a member of a network like ours, because you have that ability to gain access to job board sharing without those multiple subscriptions. It's all included in the membership. So he brought in $125K in revenue from that over 3 years. And then profit derived from flying the NPA flag and not splitting. So this is strictly new clients or candidates that came to him that he was able to make placements with, from indicating that he was part of a global network, so that he could be the single point of contact to take on those roles and to have a pool of partners specialized in different areas that those candidates then had more places to go. 175K from that. So over 3 years, he attributed 485K just from joining NPA Worldwide was added to his business. Yearly, that's 161K that was added to his bottom line. He really, still to this day, wishes he would have found us sooner. And then the intellectual capital, thought leadership, subject matter expertise. Sounds silly, but it really is priceless what he's gained and the friendships that he's gained from being part of NPA Worldwide. And he was also a firm owner that really struggled with trying to reduce his overhead. So he was in a position where he was constantly over inundated with positions where he felt as though he needed to hire more recruiters to work for him. And then when things would slow down a bit, or they wouldn't be as avid of business developers as he had hoped, he felt, frustrated, as many probably have in his same position, to constantly have to provide them work to work on, to do the training, things like that, and manage that overhead. So he was able to reduce that entirely from joining NPA Worldwide, and outside of an admin or a researcher that he's had to bring on occasionally, he has not needed to hire any full-time recruiters to work for him, because he relies on the other partners in the network to fill his roles when he's over inundated with those positions. Many of you who have heard about NPA Worldwide that maybe have not taken further steps to explore what the network looks like, I'm going to take just a couple minutes to show you our marketplace in action. So when you join NPA Worldwide, you are granted a profile as well as a username and password for you and any recruiters that you might have to our web-based sharing tool. Many times, from the calls, from the meetings, from the introductions that you make within the organization, you're going to naturally, organically share by word of mouth some positions that you might have, a candidate you might have. So some sharing happens outside of the platform. But as anybody who is married to their ATS, or is a type A individual, or likes to see everything in one place, this web-based sharing tool is absolutely awesome to that. So if I pull it up here for you, you can see this is a demo site from Hadley Headhunter. She is not an actual member of our organization, but you can kind of just get an idea here of what it looks like. So when you're searching all of the jobs that are currently available for split placements, or posting your own role, it is going to be in this type of format. We try to be as transparent as possible so that you can get connected and making money as quickly as possible. So there's lots of things that you can do in terms of the views. So, this is just an easy one. If you want to search all of the manager positions out there, managerial positions out there, that's a keyword view that you can have constantly pulling up. Once you're making placements with partners and you don't want to miss when one of your partners places a new job out there, you can have a view. This just has, 2 or 3 of your favorite partners' jobs that they've posted, that you can just see those ones. So if there's certain partners that they're really great about responsiveness, they're really great at your, communication in terms of how they like their candidates presented, things like that, you can mark them as a favorite partner in a view like this, so that you can kind of see those jobs more highlighted. When you click on a particular position, you'll see that, we again put all of the information out there in terms of what you might need to sort of start recruiting right away. So you'll see the fee, the guarantee, the job description, private notes to members, any additional information that might let your partner kind of get a head start if you're still in the process of scheduling a call and getting together to discuss it. When you click on a firm profile, you can see that they're obviously active members, how long they've been members for, little bit of a bio about them, and then you can see all of their jobs that they've got posted out, the recruiters that they have working for them, as well as the candidates that they currently have in the system as well. This one you can see obviously very heavy on healthcare currently. Some firms you might be taking a look at the candidates they have or the jobs that they have and get a better understanding of what types of roles they work, what type of industries they work, things like that. On the candidate side of things, all of your candidates that you have in the system, you'll be able to easily access. What's neat about this entire system is that because it was built by an ATS system, there's a lot of matching functionality within it. So if you're going to take a look at the matching jobs for Kermit Frog, obviously not a real candidate, but Kermit Frog is an HR manager, and this profile was set up for Kermit Frog to be a pretty top-notch HR manager candidate. So as you can see, any of the jobs that are in the system that are HR manager roles, some of them are 100% match, some of them drop down to 71 or 66, depending on the industry. And then for any of those, when you click through, you can see the recruiter who owns it, reach out to them directly, their cell phone, their email, all of that's available to you to make connections there. Without taking up way too much time there, that's really the main parts of the system that most people look at. Considerations, because Hadley Headhunter has not submitted any candidates, this will usually show you a view of the candidates that you have in play with your partner. So a consideration is a candidate that's been submitted for a role. Either you or your partner can update the status as to if they're being reviewed, if they're in the interview stage, if they're getting a final offer, if they've been declined. Sort of a nice way, again, if you are a type A individual, to be able to see everything that you're doing within the network. We're also very transparent, because we're member owned and run, about all of the financials in the network and everything that all of our firms are doing. So you can always see all of the splits that have been reported by other partners, what the client fee was, what the salary was, where they placed them. And then we reward our top firms and our top recruiters annually at our conferences with monetary amounts to thank them for being so active in the network. It's also a nice way when you're viewing partners for the first time to see the cumulative salaries that they've placed. That will give them a special designation on their profile, as well as if they're in the top 25 and being awarded, you know that they're quite active in NPA Worldwide. They're a good partner to try to call up and see if you can partner further together. Next, I don't want you just hearing from me about NPA Worldwide and how it works, because I am not a recruitment firm owner myself. So I would love to introduce you to Marissa Campbell. She is a member of NPA Worldwide and the owner of Define HR. Marissa started her firm in 2019, and those who are in a similar position know how challenging that was to start a new recruitment business right before that pandemic hit. And Marissa is a newer member of NPA Worldwide. She's been in the network for about a year now. She's been able to attend a conference and has just really been a shining example of how to promote your business, how to introduce yourself to partners. So I wanted to quickly take a moment to interview her and have her answer a couple of questions about being a recruitment firm owner and how a network has benefited her or experiences that she's had. Marissa, are you there?
I am. Nice to see you, Sarah. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. So share with us, what was your initial motivation for joining a split network? You had owned your firm for about 3 years at that point, right?
Yeah. So I'm 5 years in now. It's pretty exciting. But a few years back, I experienced a bit of high volume, and I don't like to take on more than I can handle. And I actually had a client who was trying to convince me. So I specialize in placing engineers, and he was trying to convince me to work on other roles that were outside of my niche. And with what I'm doing, I think it makes more sense to play in my area of expertise. So if I knew other recruiters that work in different niches, or niches that you call it in the US, I think, I could reach out to them. I think it makes sense. And when you're extremely busy and you want to deliver a good service, I think that having a network to support you makes all the difference. I also, when I first started my business, I thought maybe I'd become a bit of an agency. And then I had a little one. I have a 2-year-old. So it's not in me right now to train someone up to my level. I think I'm okay at what I do. So having a network where I can reach out to partners who are similar to myself and super entrepreneurial just makes absolute sense. And I think clients really like knowing that you have other resources that you can reach out to in times of need.
Absolutely. Have you learned anything surprising or had any success in the network?
I made my first split placement a month ago, so that's pretty exciting. I like all the control, so I have to let go of that. I know I could be a lot more successful in the network, but the one thing that I have learned, I think, is like the conferences are so valuable. I was kind of on the fence on whether this network was for me, but after going to the Salt Lake City conference and meeting like-minded people, I got so much out of it. So I would encourage anyone who joins the network, like you're gonna create your own success. So jumping on the monthly calls, getting to know people. There's a lot of people that aren't always able to attend these calls. And I know there's a lot more in the US than in Canada, but there are a lot of really great recruiters in Canada too that I reach out in times of need. By just picking up the phone and calling them or jumping on these calls, meeting people, asking who knows who, it's pretty incredible. So the biggest surprise would be the conference though. Definitely very valuable.
Phenomenal. Good to hear. And what do you think is most important in marketing yourself as a recruitment firm?
Well, as I mentioned with clients, like telling them that you have other resources, being able to help them on roles that you don't specialize in. Once your clients get to know who you are, they want to work with one company. So I think that prior to the network, I did get turned away for opportunity that I could have definitely taken on. Also, as you start growing, for myself, anyways, I'm starting to pick up larger global companies, and I have my go-to partners in the US who I'd reach out to. I also am married to an Australian, and they have Australia has a global conference as well. So I'm planning on going to that conference next year. You just never know what will come up. I actually have a client in Vancouver, BC, who has offices in, I think, Sydney or Melbourne, but definitely in Australia. And I could see myself utilizing a partner out there one day. So
Very
yeah, I
cool.
think just having this as a resource, we can't do it all. There's enough work for everyone, and I think collaboration is everything. To be
Yes, I hear that all the time from recruitment firms who have not joined or are considering joining, that they're just waiting for something to fall into their lap, and that's going to trigger them to join a network or our network. And it really seems to happen the opposite way, that it's when you finally believe in yourself and that you are going to be in a state of expansion and really working on building your business up, and you do something like join a network like this, that then all of a sudden the opportunities keep coming your way. So I'm glad they're coming your way, Marissa. We love having you as a member of our network. And thank you so much for coming on and sharing a bit of your experience.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me.
As people are probably wondering now about the membership cost of NPA Worldwide, really it's a monthly membership at the end of the day. So we want you to think of it as an investment for your business that's going to be long term. However, we do offer a monthly membership path so that you can see month by month how you're getting more engaged, and the activities that you do lead to more and more success and potential success for your business. So if you have a single location, and that's not to say you do not have a remote recruiter or you work multiple locations, but really in terms of a corporate office structure or your home office, you have a single location, you're going to be looking at a one-time enrollment fee of US $500 to join. That does essentially cover your first 2 months of membership in the organization, where you're going to be looking at the onboarding phase. You'll be given an engagement specialist. You'll see the whole welcome wagon come out because we are member owned and run. There are firm owners that are not only appointed to our board of directors, but they also are appointed to volunteer positions based on geography and practice area. So they get to know you and your firm and your business and offer you opportunities to share on various calls and within various groups things about yourself. After that, it is a monthly fee of about $180 to $195 US per month. And that just continues on a monthly basis while you are a member of the organization. Successful splits in the network are paid out with 47.5% to each partner and 5% to NPA. And then job board placements, if you place one of the job board candidates like we talked about, you're going to retain 88% of your client fee. You will owe 12% of the fee to NPA Worldwide as a general basis of our membership costs. There are a few other ones based on specific scenarios that we can get into on a further call, but that gives you a good idea of what to expect from an annual investment standpoint. We're coming up on time. I want to make sure that there is room for questions. I also want to share with you that we do have a 2025 global conference coming up that is going to be in March. So March 27th to 29th in Philadelphia. So if you are considering joining NPA Worldwide, as you heard from Marissa, it's wonderful to be able to join and then attend a conference to meet everyone live and in person. So wanted to throw that out there that that's going to be available as well for new members. And if you are on this webinar or receive the recording and you reference it to me, I will take 50% off of your enrollment fee to join NPA Worldwide within the next window of 60 days. Other questions for me, feel free to reach out at my email or my direct phone number. And for those that are interested in learning more about GAHUZA as well, you could reach out to Mark. His email and his phone number are there. Mark, I'll turn it over to you for some moderation on the Q&A. If we've got any questions.
That's great. Thanks, Sarah. Really tight package in terms of putting it all together in 25 minutes like this. This was great. We do have a few questions. If you do have other questions, you can put them in the Q&A area of the Zoom platform, and we'll be wrapping up in a few minutes here. But just looking at some of the questions here. So first one, can you explain the breakdown better across the world for NPA Worldwide in regards to volume of firms?
Yes, absolutely. So NPA Worldwide, when we went international, we had previously only been in North America and now have a wonderful global membership that many firms enjoy. So the breakdown is still pretty heavy. I would say about 70% of the firm volume and splits that happen are in North America. But we have about 100 firms across Australia, about 60 firms across the rest of Asia, and about 50 firms across the EMEA region. And then a smaller membership base in Latin America as well, about 10 to 12 firms there. So primarily very heavy in North America, but we really strive to make sure that the whole world is covered in terms of if you have a client opportunity to share or need assistance on, you will be able to have a local partner that works that market.
Great. A couple other questions here. I'm interested to understand about the split placement fee, which you kind of covered on this. If I'm working with a company I'm hiring for, how would I then split that? So you kind of covered that, but anything to add to that, Sarah?
Yeah, so it does get confusing. So in this particular example, it sounds as though it's your client. So you're going to be doing all of the client work. Obviously, you're not necessarily going to bring your partner into that, but you're going to report the placement as soon as there is an expected start date for the candidate and an expected payment date from the client. You owe your partner payment as soon as you are paid. So you will pay them 47.5%. And then NPA 5% in brokerage on the deal, leaving you with 47.5% as well. With the operations and bylaws of the network, we protect so much there. So we indemnify any deals. So if something were to happen to your partner before they're paid from their client, we would pay you that 47.5% that you are owed. If it was a refund guarantee and something were to happen to your partner, again, we would pay you that 47.5% that you are owed. One of the really phenomenal things about NPA Worldwide that I have yet to find another network that does that or offers it to its members in terms of protection. So it's pretty outstanding.
That's great. Another question is, are the roles direct placement, contract, or both? Or perm in Canada, direct placement, contract?
Yes. So we're primarily perm direct placement. I would say about 95% of the deals done are direct or perm. We do have a contract group within NPA Worldwide that meets regularly. The splits are a little bit different in regards to that based on the administrative and back end work that the firm who has the client must do to pay out their partner and to pay out NPA Worldwide on whatever type of contract it is. But we have a very successful contract group and a lot of firms who enjoy also splitting contract work.
Nice. Awesome. One more question, last question. Are there any industries that are more predominant in the network?
Yeah, so we are really well covered. We have a firm owner in almost every area you can think of that has elected to run a group within NPA Worldwide and make sure that those firms who specialize in the same area can get together and have similar conversation based on their industries. I would say IT obviously is going to be a huge one that has a lot of subspecialty groups depending on what areas of IT you focus on. We acquired an accounting and finance network several years ago. So we brought in firms that did accounting, finance, banking at that point. So that's a very strong group for us. Healthcare since the pandemic has really taken off. Manufacturing, engineering, also huge. And probably some smaller groups that I haven't named: chemical process, legal, biomedical, pharma, life sciences. All of those still have a presence within NPA Worldwide, with usually a minimum of 10 firms that all specialize in that area.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much, Sarah, and thanks everyone for being on. Hopefully, you can make it out to the conference as well next year in Philadelphia. I'm planning on being there, so it should be a lot of fun. And as Sarah's got on this slide, this is our contact information if you want to reach out to Sarah for any information on NPA Worldwide or myself or Gahuza. And have a great day, and looking forward to connecting, and see you next time.
Sounds good. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Take care. Bye, Sarah.
Bye, Mark.
Bye, everybody.